What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy, the Shining One Goldie Boy here, part of T.H.C. Welcome. I just want to start out and say, man, I appreciate you guys being patient with your boy. Just taking care of business, a lot of personal things going on, but nonetheless, a couple weeks ago, I went to the Tcg-Con and I had a great time. It was fun. Got to play with friends, just mingle. Saw a couple of YouTubers. Shout out Team APS. Great guys. And man, I played basically my favorite deck, Dinomorphia, and I put a little spice, a little twist on it, and it performed great. My record at the end of the day was, I want to say 4-2-1. I had a draw. I drew a tier. My losses were to my first loss was through flu. I literally opened up like technically a great hand, but bad at the same time. I opened three Theresias and my Dinomorphia fusion traps, and my boy dropped that barrier statue on me, and it was pretty much game. I lost in game three, so it happens, you know. Good guy, nothing bad to say about that. And then I played against my boy Jason. Shout out Jason, great guy as well. He played tier. We had a great back and forth. I actually had fun. It's amazing. I had fun playing against tier of all decks, and yeah, it was a great back and forth. And yeah, and that was from there. I pretty much just cleaned house. And yeah, I took a loss to another guy I was playing tier. Me and Jason, we drew. But from there, everything was smooth sailing. I saw the cards that I needed to see, and she performed and did exactly what she did. And again, just to say again, sorry for the wait. I know I said I was gonna drop when I was gonna drop it. Just to show my appreciation and for all you guys' patience of waiting for me. I'm gonna drop another deck profile of another deck of mine that I like to play. And I do have more content on the way. I have a Spicy Hero build that I've been playing with. I have a Karushin build on the way. So yeah, so let's start this bad boy off. So off the rip, we have three Dinomorphia Theresia. What can I say? She's Bae. On summon, normal special summon, she sets a Dinomorphia trap from your deck to the field. So she basically gets your ball rolling. She gets you your Dinomorphia Frenzy or your Dinomorphia Domain. She's really good. She's unashable. I mean, really, all you have to worry about is Imperm, Effect Veiler, etc. But I didn't really run into any of those things, so she was great. And she also has an additional effect when you're 2,000 life points or lower. She gains 500 attack, so that can come in clutch. Just extra damage for, you know, the end games faster. So she was great. You wouldn't play any less of her. Next, we have two Diplos. I played two. I know people will probably tell me, oh, you know, you're playing it wrong. You should be playing way more than two. But I played two specifically because, to me at least, it feels kind of bricky, and like I never really miss it, honestly. I mean, I have those rare moments where I like, man, I wish I had another name, and I'm hoping that with the reveal of the new counter trap that we got, in the new set that's coming out, I believe in like March. I want to say it's coming out in March, and we're getting like a basically our own Solid Strike. So hopefully Konami will give us another name, which, as long as it's decent. We just need another name, you know, so we could we won't burn through our engine so fast. But Diplos was great. Diplos for the term, he came in a clutch in the grind game because I could just loop him and I could dunk cards that I needed instead of setting them to the field, and I'd have Ken on the board, and she basically just copied him and basically just give her just additional pops from Brute, or I could basically drop the Call by the Grave, not the Call by the Grave, but the Call of the Haunted from the deck, another fusion, just whatever I needed. Like, he was just basically that toolbox to give me that instant excess if I had Ken on the board. So he was real clutch for the tournament, and I think I actually won a game, or like it helped me get lethal because he has also an additional effect of he burns for 500 whenever you're 2,000 or lower. So that don't sleep on that. That actually does come in clutch. And then so this is where it's gonna start kind of getting a little spicy. So I played one Fallen of Elbaz, I played one Dogmatic Ecclesia, and I played the Hexil Light Fusion So basically, I'm playing a small dogmatic engine, and I'm playing a small branded fusion engine, and man, it came in clutch. Uh, there was a time where for the light hex sealed, I baited my opponent, saw this, and he immediately like negated my Elbion. Not gonna lie, I really wanted it to go off, but at the same time I was kind of trying to bait negates as well. But I did want this to go off because if I'd have got this to go off, I would have won that game. Most definitely. And then set up the board from there, and you'll see the spikes that I have on my extra deck on what I'm talking about on how I basically was gonna end the game. But smart on him, and I made a slight misplay, and you know that it happens. I didn't read a card. I didn't read Scream, and whenever we go through the deck, through the profile, you'll see what I'm talking about. But Elbas, was a clutch card. I've made it in the gate trying to fuse something away, so that was awesome. Ecclesia, whenever I saw her, she helped me in my flu matchup by dealing with the barrier statue. Simply just searching her, dropping instants to the grave, popping it, and just getting me to punishment was great. So these cards were clutch. There wasn't a time where I saw them where I didn't want to see them, so they were actually pretty clutch. And then of course, you know, we're playing a very heavy grave eccentric type format, so these guys were clutch as well. I played 2 Magnamuts, 2 Drew's Worms, and 1 Sonair, and the spicy tech to go with it, since it's also a dragon. 1 Destrudo. So obviously we know Magnamut, you know, all the bestials, as long as your opponent controls a monster, you basically can DD Crow and you get a body on board, which was pretty clutch. Magnamut, he searches at the end of the end phase any dragon monster. Drew's Worm, when it's sent to the graveyard, it could just send a card to the graveyard, and Sonar, when it's sent to the graveyard, it can get you a trap, like the branded bestial spells or traps, but we don't play those, so it's irrelevant. So it's just more so for the DD Crow. And Destrudo is so clutch because if he's in the hand or the graveyard, you could target a monster on the board that has a level that's 6 or lower, and you basically half your life points, which you want to do in this deck, and you special summon them, and you can basically make synchro plays, link plays, whatever. You can do whatever you want with him, and he came in clutch. Sadly, I wasn't playing the Psychic Punisher. I made the last minute cut, and you'll see when I get to the extra deck and why I cut them. But these cards were great. I wouldn't change anything about the lineup. These guys, I'm not gonna lie, they sucked. I opened like 2 of them when I played Flu, but other than that though, they were great. It's just that, man, that my first Flu game was just like, I didn't see any of like my Flu tech like at all, and I was like, dang, like it just, or like I saw them after the fact, and it happens, man. Like I'm not mad about it at all. It happens. I anticipated more tier, and I played less tier than what I was expecting to play, basically. So this, like, it caught me off guard in that sense. But these guys were great though. Like this little guy, like half of my life points, and then activating Frenzy or Domain, you're already at 2,000, and then you can't, and you're at 1,000. So it just made like Rexstrom that much more lethaler, and it just put that much more pressure on my opponent because they couldn't activate any of their effects because most monsters are 1,000 or more. So yeah, this definitely was awesome. Next, another tech, Artifact Scythe. I mean, I was playing Barrier, but I didn't like how Barrier handicapped me, so I wanted to play something that could just give me a turn and stun my opponent more than it hurt me. And Scythe is a body, and it basically says no. So instead of calling fusions on tier and then they just make Baguska, I could just do this. Now you can't do anything, and I let you commit, and now you just got a board of monsters that you can't do anything with, and I pop off on your turn, on my turn, etc. Kill your whole board. You waste resources, and pretty much it's game from there. So every time I saw this, every time I popped this off, I won. I played against my boy Jason, and I popped this bad boy off, and he tried to droplet it, and I had that spicy judgments in the back row sitting there for him, and it was so satisfying. And I took the game. I think game 2 with this one, and it was clutch. Anytime I saw this, I dropped this on the Sprite player as well, and I took game 1 with this, and it was like spicy. It fulfilled its role perfectly. Now we're gonna get into the spells. I played 2 branded fusions, and I played 2 Nadir servants, and I played 1 called. These are for space reasons, I cut them each down to 2. I had them at 3, but I put in a last minute take because for flu, and you'll see when I get to the traps what I took out for it, and when I did see it, it was clutch. Lady Luck wasn't on my side though, because I felt every time I had it on the board, I swear to God, my opponent had harpies. It's crazy. Like every time I saw it, it was clutch, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? When it did stick on the board though, it definitely put in work. So no regrets about it. I definitely will make some small changes to the deck overall going forward, based off of my results and just based off what I've been testing with lately. But Nadir was for popping. The barrier statue and just getting rid of problematic cards, monsters, etc. And it was clutch. Getting the Nadir on board, backed up with a domain or a frenzy, and you have the punishment. I mean that's so much disruption going on in itself, and that could pretty much win you the game right there. Random fusion. It basically was just for giving me the multiple options of if I'm dealing with boards where I need to banish some, I got a Mirror Jade. If I need just an unkillable monster, I had Dragoon, and then if I just wanted to just outright end the game, I just had the spicy tick that I'll show you once we get there. And obviously Called by the Grave, because it's Called by the Grave. It's you can argue it's basically a bestial on crack, but just without the body. And so it was clutch, man. Everything was clutch. And those will do it for the spells. And now we're gonna get to the traps. People will say that this is the weaker of the Dinomorphia trap fusions, and they're actually wrong, and I'll tell you why. I played 3 Dinomorphia domains, obviously, no less, and 3 Dinomorphia frenzies. And people will say frenzy is better than domain, and domain is the better of the cards because you could use it on your turn and your opponent's turn. So I use this card just as much as I use frenzy, and depending on the scenario, I'm 9 times out of 10 I'm going for domain just because I could use it on my turn as well. Whereas a cocky Dinomorphia player will just automatically get this because I'm just sending 1 material from the deck and 1 from the extra deck, forgetting that you can only activate it on your opponent's turn. So now it's just sitting on your field on your turn when you could have got the domain and just popped off. And it also gives your opponent room to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get it, if you just, for example, just your opponent attacks or deals with one of your little guys, and then you float, and then you get the Reason on board, and you set this bad boy on their turn, you have to wait that their turn out, and then your turn is still sitting there, and then you have to wait back. So it's just you just want this one. It just puts in so much work. They both do their thing, but this is, to me, this gives you just a little more edge, in my opinion. I like this card just a little bit more, but they're both great cards. They do their jobs. They basically this is domain is also spicy as well because if you could read your opponent as super poly, you make Kentra, and then you could basically fusion her away with her effect by copying this, and then you send another Dinomorphia from the deck and herself, and then you make Rextrum that way. Versus where Frenzy will, you'll send 1 from the deck and the extra deck, and basically have Kent and Rextrum at the board. So it minimizes super poly. It basically, if they're gonna deal with the Rextrum, they have to commit to the board to basically deal with the Rextrum. So that's another little spicy play that people forget that with domain could do. So like I said, they were clutch though. Every time I saw them, I pretty much won the game. There wasn't any time that I didn't activate these where I wasn't really winning the game. And then I have my toolbox Dinomorphia cards, Sonic, Root, and Alert. Sonic, he's your spell and trap, negate. Also, the grave effect of If your opponent would attack you directly or a monster and inflict damage, you can banish it. You take no damage from that battle. Brute is a non-targeting Regeki break. An alert is basically like your monster reborn or crack for the deck. And the normal traps, they all have grave effects where they can banish themselves and you won't take effect damage for the rest of the turn. So these were all clutch. Then we're gonna get to the traps, like my toolbox tech traps to counter the meta and stuff, and just flow with the deck. So I had 2 Fair Flames, 2 Ice Dragons, and I had 2 Artifact Sanctums. These cards were like clutch. Fair Flames, when I saw Fair Flames, it saved my life and actually won me a game. Pretty much anytime I saw this, it was godly. Shuffling my opponent's stuff back when you're really low, because I think the lowest I got in the deck was like 50 or something, like a crazy low number. And like this is just so clutch. Ice Dragons, of course, you play tier, you hit in the grave, you banish. This actually got me a game against Flu, surprisingly, because I dealt with his board and he ended up getting a bird in grave, and I was like, holy snap, like this is live. Like I'm like pulling my hair out, because the way I had the deck built and my side deck built, I had so much stuff that was catered to hate on tier that I couldn't completely side out all my stuff for the Flu matchup. So I had these bad boys in there pulling my hair out, because I opened 2 and I managed to get some birds in graveyard, which is weird. And yeah, I banished his birds and stuff, and it was actually satisfying. Like I banished like key cards, like his big birds, like Avian and the penguin, the Impin. So that was actually pretty clutch. And like I said earlier, this is key to getting your scythe out. Sanctum. Sanctum was again the combat, the meta. Just tier and it any other decks that were just special summoning rogue, whatever. Anytime I saw this, it was very satisfying. It was very satisfying to just pop off with this card and resolve, because you're pretty much winning the game from there, because your opponent can't do anything and you're popping off on their turn or your own turn. And yeah, this was clutch. Like it was the fear of God when people saw this, because nobody was really expecting it. So shout out to Scythe, easily one of the MVPs of the deck. And from there, the punishment, which you were searching off of Ecclesia, 1 trap trick just to get into your Scythe, your Fair Flames, your Ice Dragons, or your Domains or Frenzies. This was good. I actually sided it out a lot though, to be honest. And this was the tech that I cut 1 Nadir and 1 Brand Infusion for, was the 2 skill drains because of Kentragina. You basically flip this one, you make Kent. It hurts tier, it hurts Flu, it pretty much hurts rogue, it hurts a lot of decks, and she becomes a 4,000 beat stick. And you know, like they have to deal with this card, and then when they answer, you just basically pop her effect off, and then you get a Rextrum, and it's like skill drain all over again. And the final 3 cards that I played was Solemn Strikes, and I mean it's strike. It's a going second card, it's a going first card. For 1,500 life points, you can negate monster effects and special summons like XYZs, etc. So this card was great. Everything was great. Everything did what it was supposed to do. Everything was clutch. Like I said, didn't regret any of my choices. When I saw what I needed to see, it was great. And if my opponent had the outs, he had the outs. And that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh goes, man. And like I said, I had a blast with it. So now we're gonna get to the extra deck. So first off, we're gonna start with the fusions. So because of the way I built this, my extra deck was so tight. Like I need Kamani. I need you guys to give us like a 20 space extra deck. I feel like at this point it's warranted, because I feel it's necessary. At least maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe I'm crazy for that, but I think like a 20 card extra deck is fair, man. Like 15 it feels so limiting creatively wise, you know. So I played 2 Rextrums. I played 2 Kents, or Spiky Girl. I call him Shin Godzilla. and Dino Jet. So Shin Godzilla, I mean, as the name says, I mean, when he hits the board, he's destroying and wrecking everything. My opponent, I was playing against an opponent, and he tried to, I think it was Tear or something, Tear Sprite or Flu. It's one of them, and they tried to run over like my board, and boy, I popped off Rekstrom's effect in the damage step, and like basically made his guys really little, and he learned the hard way how good like Shin Godzilla really is. So man, he's a skill drain on legs. She basically is she's like your spell book of knowledge because she can copy any Dinomorphia regular trap, any normal trap, and basically become that effect. So she basically gives me double fusion access, double brute, double alert. Like any of my utility traps, she basically is she's a bridge and keeps me in the grind game. So this was the challenge of playing two. Like I had to really be skillful with how I used her. So that was a challenge, and that was, I guess, the fun for me was that I knew I was limited, so I had to be very smart when playing in this tournament, and it paid off because of, like I said, my record was really great. I came in 30th, so I had to be really smart with how I use these two guys right here. And Dino Jet, people like they kind of like drop a lot of salt on this guy. Like he don't be pulling his weight, but I actually popped off one time where I made this, and I had a strike in the back row, and basically it was dead. And once I summoned this guy, I could basically activate the strike for free, and it won me a game. And also it has a burn effect, which can also win you in time or just win the game period, because your opponent could be just dropping big monsters willy-nilly, a Bistil or whatever, and then you just burn it for 25, and that could be the game right there. So this is it is a pretty clutch card in the right situations. Like, don't sleep on this card. So those are my Dinomorphia fusions. And my branded packages: one Lubellion, one Abellion, one Mirror, and the spice of the decks, the two clutch fusions. If you're not making Mirror Jade, you're either making Unkillable Body, Dragoon, Sprite. It's hard for Sprite to deal with this. It's hard for Tyr to kind of deal with this. But there's no doubt in my mind, a Spirited player, I'm pretty sure, he'll burn some resources, but I'm pretty sure they can deal with this. But for the most part, Flu is hard for Flu to deal with this. It's hard for Sprite to deal with this. It's very hard to deal with. And this guy right here is also hard to deal with because I think he's unaffected by traps, and he can't. He's unaffected by trap cards or effects. Yeah, it's just trap cards and effects, but he's real big. This is basically like the UCT of the deck. This was the game I was playing against. I think his name is Bryn. I was playing against him, and I was trying to make this because he just had a big board, no negates or nothing. And he had the Tear trap that negates card on the field, and he negated my Elbion, so I couldn't make this. But if I'd have made this, I'd have ate his whole board, and then I had the Theresia, the normal summon. So basically, I had the Rexum combo to basically like get them to establish like the full tempo swing, and keep the momentum in my favor. And it would have been that much more harder for him to basically to re-establish back his board. And on top of this, when this card does battle, you basically get a trap from your graveyard and set it back on the field. So this is like crazy. Like in theory, like the way I was thinking was like, man, if I can keep this on the board for a turn or two, man, like I could just be looping like my Ferret Flames, my Ice Dragons, basically any trap that I want, I could just keep it in rotation. So this card was spicy. Even though I never made it, man, just knowing that that if I got this off, it was either gonna be Dragoon or this. And I did make this against Sprite, and it felt so satisfying when I did make it because they couldn't deal with it. So it was very satisfying, and he served this role well. I think I made it once or twice, but this guy, like, I just wanted to clear boards with this, and I sadly I never got the chance to, but it's all good. The theory was brilliant, at least in my mind and my idea. I definitely thought it was spicy, and nobody would see this coming. So definitely would have put in work if I got him on the board. But I was using the brand and the deer stuff anyway to either break boards or bait negates anyway, so it served its purpose anyway. And just Nadir stuff, one Intis, one Garura, and I wanted to make this because it could technically be 3,000, but I never got a chance to fusion summon it. But I was just using it more for upstart goblin effect when I was going first when I saw Nadir, and yeah, it was great for that. And Intis, man, felt good popping that bear statue. So nothing less to say about that. And my last two cards of the extra deck was it was my Dark and FA Dawn Dragster. I would use Destrudo and any Bestial or level 4 Dinomorphia card or just anything I had. This was really great. I like making an FA Dawn Dragster just for whenever I'd have Rexium on board, who's basically locking out all the monster effects on board, and this was just kind of like that backup, so you couldn't trouble tactics or lightning storm, just evenly matched, whatever. Like this was just great to just have to negate, and also a clutch little combo that I pulled off. I think once was I used that strudel on Druid's Worm, and I was able to bounce something and make a spell and trap negator. So that was actually pretty clutch. So it was just another way of popping Druid's Worm's effect off. In Dark, it just gets you. It basically got me. My theory for it was just another way to pop off Druid's Worm, just in case my tier had Baguska on me or whatever, and I could just pop off the Druid's Worm effect that way, and also get a Magnum Mud or whatever they had it, and then it could help me search another Bestial or the Destrudo. So these were all very clutch whenever I used them. I don't think I made the Dark. I don't think I ever made it, honestly, but it was just all there just to be there. And my side deck, again, I think we need like a 20 card side deck as well, just for creativity, because it's limiting. There's so much going on in the format, and I think the extra 5 slots would help to it makes deck building just a little bit that much more easier. That way you could deal with you could basically deal with this toxic that is tier and just etc. But I digress. I played 2 of the Spooky Dogwoods Ghost Girl. For obvious reasons, time. I paid half my life points, so this was just for time. So this definitely it came in clutch. I never used it. I did see it in my hand, but it just never came up. I never needed it because I had other engines to supplement, and I think I won that game anyway. So that actually was kind of funny. I didn't even see any Dinomorphia cards, but it was just there, and my actual engines just carried me to victory. I played two dimension shifters, so this is all like you're gonna see a lot of 2-0s, and I played it like that just because of space. But this was just for tier any graveyard based decks. This was what this was for. I sided this out against Flu and Exo Sisters because they could play out the graveyard. They don't need the graveyard, so this wasn't even it's just for the tier matchups. Lava Golem, obviously make negates or whatever, I could just tribute over them, so no problem. I played in a Necro or Banshee. Those were all the monsters. This was just for like Flu. You get the zombie world, they can't tribute their monsters. This also messes with tier. People forget that that to make the fusions you need an aqua monster. So when you make them all zombies, you basically cut them off from their tier engine, and they have to go into stuff like Draco's Tapelia, which my deck doesn't care about. And like basically it cuts them off like really hard. So this was clutch, and obviously the zombie world, I just played the one for space reasons. So it'll do it for the monsters. For side spell, and my other spell was my original list. It was Harpies, but I couldn't find it. Like I got Grave Robbed. I guess Grave Robber just like hopped up and just like snatched my Harpies because I couldn't find it for the life of me. And I was looking through my tins and stuff, and I forgot that I bought one of the Mega Tins, and I did pull a Lightning Storm, so that became basically the Harpies because I could pop monsters and I could pop back row. So I had the option, and I like that actually better. That gave me the option. So this was actually great. I did see it, but sadly I never got to use it, and it kind of sucked because I wanted to use this because it looks so good. It looks so dope. And shout out my boy Bryce. I gotta get these back to him, but he did give me these 2 cards for the tournament, and they were two different dimension rounds. I wanted it, so it's basically trap D shifter for a turn. So this was great. I let tier or whatever commit to the board, and then I would flip this, and then like it ends their turn, and it doesn't hurt me at all because I can just hold my Dinomorphia traps, and yeah, when I saw it, it put in work, and it won me the games. Anytime I saw this, I won that game. I won that match. And I played 2 evenly matches, just to break boards, clear back roll decks, etc. And I played 2 judgments, just to negate normal summon spells, traps. Like I said, I played against a good friend of mine, Jason. Popped off Scythe to win that game, and he had droplets. And had I not had this set to negate the droplets, he probably would have. I don't want to say I would have lost that game, but it would probably been that much more difficult to pull off that game. But yeah, it definitely it came in clutch because I already had my I think I had already had my Dinomorphia stuff already established. So this is just it's definitely just helped me just establish the board and yeah, just protect my boards. So great. This is the whole profile. I will be posting an update to the deck with some changes, with some minor changes because of I went back to the drawing board with it and kind of dialed it back a little bit. Wanted to kind of go a little more pure route, you know, and really refine it. I'm getting new cards and things like that, and I'll be exploring more ways to play it. I do want to play like a Doodle Bees version of it. I want to try to play a Lost World version of it. Like, there's so many things you could do with Dinomorphia as a small engine, you know, and combine it with other trap decks. So just stay posted. I got more content coming you guys' way. So appreciate it, man. Subscribe to Pod of T.H.C. Plenty more great content coming. I appreciate you guys for being patient again. And this is my deck. This is my profile. This is the Shining One Goldie Boy signing off. Have a blessed day. Stay copacetic.